At 5.
Arrested, the man accused of killing an Austin defense attorney in jail tonight. How investigators piece together the crime.
A painting hanging inside a Central Texas school drawing attention tonight. How the district is responding after our questions. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jenny Lee.
And I'm Mike Rush. Thanks for joining us. First tonight, lockdowns have been lifted for 2 Round Rock schools, Union Hill Elementary and Hopewell Middle School. They went into effect after an unrelated road rage incident near the schools. Police were searching for a driver who allegedly pointed a gun at another car. The driver with the gun has not been found. Right now, parents are waiting to pick up their kids at Hopewell Middle School, and some buses are also running late for Stony Point High School. We'll keep you posted on this developing situation. Now to this. A man is in jail in New Orleans charged with killing an Austin defense attorney found dead in his home here Friday.
Now, investigators are releasing more details tonight about what happened to 74-year-old James Short, including how he went shopping with the suspect just before the murder. KVUE in Austin American Statesman reporter Tony Fletsky first broke this development today. He joins us now with the latest. Tony, what can you tell us?
Well, Jenny and Mike, investigators are laying out a really tragic end for a man family members say spent his life trying to help others. This is the man now charged with murder. His name is Justin Nicholas Twine, and tonight officials are trying to get him extradited back to Travis County. According to an arrest affidavit, days before the murder, Twine and Short exchanged text messages together, and Short gave him the address to his house so they could meet. Last Thursday night, Walmart video surveillance captured the two shopping together. Sheriff's deputies responded the next morning to a call at Short's house where his body was found with a knife wound. Now, an arrest affidavit says they also found some of Twine's belongings with his name and phone number, and that's how they were able to identify him. Sheriff's officials just wrapped up a news conference about the case. They say they are still trying to figure out the big question tonight. Why?
We are still looking into that. You know, obviously, even once an arrest is made on a case like this, the investigation will still continue for the next couple of weeks, and that'll be our part of the investigation from this point forward, is trying to figure out motive.
Short's sister described him as someone who loved helping others, who worked as a court-appointed defense attorney so he could represent indigent clients. Now, Twine remains in jail in New Orleans for now. Court records show he does have a lengthy criminal history that includes fraud, battery, and resisting law enforcement. His bail is set at $500,000. We are still waiting to hear when he might be brought back to Travis County. We'll keep you updated. Jenny.
All right, thank you so much, Tony. And new at 5, the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals has denied death row inmate Rodney Reed's request for DNA testing. It's all related to the 1996 murder of Stacy Stites in Bastrop County. Reed says he and Stites were involved in a secret affair and denies killing her. Reed was 10 days away from execution in February 2015 when the appeals court stepped in. No word yet on when his execution date will be rescheduled.
The Travis County District Attorney's Office is making a major shift in how it handles police shootings. Instead of sending them all to a grand jury, only a select few will be filtered out for special attention. KVUE's Nicole Rosales is in the newsroom tonight. Nicole?
Yes, well, there are 2 primary reasons behind this new policy: to bring accountability to the table, as well as to accelerate the workflow, paying attention to the cases that need it the most.
The procedures we will be following are intended to ensure a system that is fair to everyone.
That was Travis County DA Margaret Moore's opening line at a Wednesday press conference. Moore is implementing a new policy regarding the review of police shootings. Instead of automatically sending cases to a grand jury, only the ones the DA believes are unlawful will be presented.
I believe that I, as your elected district attorney, am the person who should and will be held accountable for the fairness of our policies and the integrity of our decisions.
For example, the 2015 Omni Hotel shooting, where an officer shot and killed a man who randomly fired shots, killing 1 person, would likely be fast-tracked by the DA with an opinion to prosecutors and statement to the public attached. But more controversial incidents will be handed to the grand jury, whose main focus is to dissect these cases more thoughtfully.
In the past, the practice of presenting every single officer-involved shooting case to a grand jury meant that the cases began to back up.
Meaning answers were put on hold. The DA says the public demands accessibility as well. That's where the new Civil Rights Unit steps in. They will work side by side in investigations, prosecutions, and provide information to affected families almost immediately, increasing interaction.
Now, I think there's an urgency that we've got to do things differently, but she's done her homework. Once you involve the public and do the best practices, you minimize your risk.
Moore's confident this process is a step in the right direction. Now, not everyone agrees with this new policy. Austin civil rights attorney Jim Harrington questions these moves, saying, quote, the civil rights of people are too important to be left up to the trust me discretion of a political official. In the newsroom, Nicole Rosales, KVUE News.
Thank you, Nicole. A Leander woman has been arrested for allegedly handcuffing her teenage daughter inside a closet and beating her. Police were alerted of the situation last night when an anonymous caller reported hearing loud screaming coming from a nearby apartment. Kenyatta Quinton was arrested and charged with injury to a child. Her daughter told an officer her mom was disciplining for an incident that occurred at school yesterday. Quinton is being held at the Williamson County Jail.
Now to the 85th Texas legislature. Lawmakers in the House tentatively passed a bill putting more money toward mental health treatment. KVUE political reporter Ashley Godot is live at the Capitol. And Ashley, they're establishing a grant program, right?
That's right, Mike. Members of the House have said mental health is a priority for them this session, and this bill is just one piece of legislation proving that. It's authored by Representative For Price from Amarillo. HB 13 creates a $10,000 matching grant program to support community mental health services and treatments. Both governmental entities and nonprofits can apply for the grants. 25% of the total grant money awarded is reserved for communities with no more than 250,000 people. 5% is for communities with no more than 125,000. The other 70% of the funds can go to any size community. The House will take a final vote on the bill tomorrow. Now, the House also passed a bill expanding acts of cybercrime. HB 9 creates a criminal offense for electronic data tampering, specifically malware and ransomware.
According to the FBI, ransomware attack cost victims a total of $209 million in the first 3 months of 2016.
Now, the House also gave final approval to a bill from Austin's Donna Howard that will create a database to track rape kits. The database will also be tied into a national database alerting officers to repeat offenders. And the anti-sanctuary cities bill is heading to the House for a vote, but it's slightly different from what Texas senators passed. We'll look at the changes tonight at 6. Live at the Capitol, Ashley Godot, KVUE News.
Ashley, thank you. Well, a change of heart tonight over a painting at Steiner Ranch Middle School. Some call it offensive, while others say it's a tribute. KVUE's Michael Perchik joins us live from Canyon Ridge Middle School, where administrators just took action on that painting. Michael?
For 11 years, that picture hung up inside the halls of Canyon Ridge Middle School, and according to school officials, raised no concerns. Now, that portrait seen right here appears to depict a person in front of a Nazi swastika shooting a horse represented by a Star of David in the head, surrounded by a pool of blood. But recently, a group of parents reached out to school officials voicing their concerns, saying they found that imagery to be offensive and anti-Semitic. Initially, in a letter sent out to parents, school officials here saying it was meant as a tribute and apologized for not providing a written description to provide better context next to that painting. Now, we reached out to Leander ISD officials to learn more about the matter. They said the painting was first created back in 2006 by an 8th grader here at school after she was studying the Holocaust as part of an English class. She was so moved by her studies that she tried to create a piece of art to reflect the horrors of the tragedy. However, after hearing recent feedback from parents, school officials today making the decision to remove that painting, citing the origin and intent have now been misunderstood. Live from Canyon Ridge Middle School, I'm Michael Perchik, KVUE News.
Today, the second day in a row, Austin didn't hit 80 degrees, 78 degrees. I think a lot of people enjoying the cooler weather for a change. 75 in San Marcos, 73 in Fredericksburg. Good evening, Lano. You came up to 75 degrees for today. Things are quiet on radar, a lot of clouds. We've had a few breaks in the sunshine. A couple little light showers to our east. Those will stay out of our way for tonight at least. More chances of rain in the forecast, however, coming our way. Mid to upper 70s right now. Temperatures will drop into the mid 60s as we wake up tomorrow. And tomorrow, high temperatures expected to be into the upper 70s, lower 80s. More chances again of rain in the forecast. Details coming up in full weather in a few minutes.
All right, Nathan, see you in a bit. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson continues talks with Russian leaders, including President Vladimir Putin. The two met today as top U.S. officials are still calling on Russia to stop covering for Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. Tillerson says right now there is a low level of trust, but there are a few areas where the two nations find common ground.
We agree we want to deny a safe haven for terrorists who want to attack both of our countries. We agree that North Korea has to be denuclearized.
Tillerson says the two also share a desire for a unified and stable Syria and that there needs to be more senior-level communication between the White House and the Kremlin. During a Security Council meeting on Syria, U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations Nikki Haley is calling on the Russians to push for peace.
To my colleagues from Russia, you are isolating yourselves from the international community every time one of Assad's planes drop another barrel bomb on civilians, and every time Assad tries to starve another community to death.
While Russian President Vladimir Putin is still casting doubt over whether the Assad regime used chemical weapons in Syria, Secretary Tillerson says he is sure the attack was directed and executed by the Assad regime, adding that it's the latest in more than 50 occasions of Assad resorting to chemical weapons.
The CEO of United Airlines continues to do damage control, what he said in an exclusive interview.
And look at this, a violent arrest all over jaywalking. Tonight, what the department is saying about their officer.